Good afternoon, everybody. Officer COCG Mohammed with a continuation of my video series before convention. What I'd like to talk about in this video has to do with the Finance Committee recommendations for the 2018-2019 chapter project request. This just kind of came out of the blue. I didn't really bother to pay too much attention to this one until I actually took a close look into it. What's rather interesting about this is that these chapter project requests go through your chapter president. It's a very important part of what CCPOA does for our community throughout the state, whether you're in a desert pen, coastal plains, the valley pens, the mountain camps, the valley camps, as far as northern prisons, anywhere where you're at. This money is meant to help service our community. Any nonprofit you can request it through, whether it's for a food bank, to assist with homeless, assist with veterans, your local sports leagues, you name it, this is what this money's for. Now, what is interesting is that there was 14 total requests made. Out of those 14 requests, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were honored. There was another one at this time that wasn't decided on yet, and that was another Sacramento region, and then the one in Pelican Bay, which they had turned their paperwork in late, so they were looking for more answers. Well, that being said, it was a Sacramento region who totally benefited from this. I don't know why. It's an interesting fact that no other chapter or region or any other chapter president who applied received any money. With that being said, the last time I looked, Dave Sanders, the chief operating officer of CCPOA, is not a chapter president. Dave Sanders basically controls CCPOA. He has more weight and power, believe it or not, than Chuck Alexander, who's just the state president. Dave Sanders gets almost a little under $290,000 of your dues money as the chief operating officer. Now the question is he requested $17,500 to help out his nonprofit that he requested. Well, that's not money that should have came out of our chapter project request. And in case you're wondering what I'm looking at, again, I'm not giving you any numbers. I do actually have the paperwork in front of me just to show you. I do have it. What's interesting is that Dave Sanders received $7,500 of the money from chapter project request. He's not a chapter president. So again, at convention, who's going to have to ask a tough question? How did Dave Sanders get $7,500 so he can go attend a wine and food event for the nonprofit that the money was spent on? Not mine to ask, but you as delegates, you as members of CCPOA, and chapter presidents are going to have enough gumption to ask that question of how this money is spent. Tough questions, tough answers. I mean, I think it's interesting that this money is not spread throughout the state and only one certain region gets that money. And in case you're asking, here's the letter that was sent out by James Martin, CCPOA chapter, or CCPOA state treasurer, retired annuitant. Throughout the year 2017, whenever I spoke to the State Board of Directors, chapter presidents, I have emphasized that 2018 has an election year and that money was going to be tight. All chapter and individuals were informed that any request for additional monies need to be submitted to the Finance Committee prior to November 15th for consideration of the 2018-2019 budget year, no exceptions. The Finance Committee met in December and reviewed all requests that had been submitted, and they made the recommendations to the state president. The state president made his review and rendered his decision. That is reflected in the 2018-2019 that began on April 1st, 2018. Enclosed are the committee recommendations and the final cut from the state president, Chuck Alexander. So Chuck Alexander taking the recommendations from the Finance Committee was the one who approved of his boss, Dave Sanders, receiving allocations of chapter request for a nonprofit. Like I said, it's not my decision to make. It's your decision. Was the money ill spent? not mine to make. Hope you guys bring this one up at convention. Have a nice day.